If you've been crocheting for a while now, but everything you make ends up in a drawer or given away as a gift, what if I told you that the things sitting in your yarn basket right now could completely change the way your home looks? I'm going to show you how to use crochet to decorate your home in a way that actually looks good. Not grandma's house good, but like something you'd see on Pinterest and think, wait, someone made that? We're talking wall hangings, table runners, throw blankets, plant holders, and more. And the best part? Most of these are beginner friendly, so even if you've only learned the basics, you can pull these off. Let's be real for a second. A lot of people who crochet never think about using it for their home. They think it's only for scarves, hats, and baby stuff. And honestly, that's a shame, because crochet home decor is one of the most underrated things in the crafting world. The texture, the warmth, the personal touch it adds to a space, you genuinely cannot buy that in a store. Well, you can, but it'll cost you way more than a skein of yarn. So here's the problem. Most people don't know where to start when it comes to making things for their home. They search online and find either really complex patterns that need 17 different stitches, or really basic stuff that honestly just looks like practice swatches. There's not a lot of content that sits right in the middle, stuff that looks impressive but is actually doable. That's exactly what this video is going to fix. Let's start with something that has completely taken over home decor, and that's the crochet wall hanging. If you've been on any home decor page lately, you already know what I'm talking about. These are pieces that you hang on your wall, usually with a wooden dowel or a thick piece of driftwood, and they just add this really cozy, textured look to any room. The great thing about wall hangings is that they're forgiving. You're not making something that needs to be a perfect size or fit a specific shape. You just start crocheting, create sections, add some fringe at the bottom, and you have something that looks intentional and beautiful. For a basic wall hanging, you really only need to know how to chain, single crochet, and maybe a simple mesh stitch. The mesh stitch is just alternating chains and single crochets in a row, and it creates this open, airy look that works really well for wall decor. You can mix thick and thin yarn in the same piece for contrast, or keep it all one color for a minimalist feel. Neutral tones like cream, beige, and terracotta are really popular right now if you want something that fits into a modern home. But if you want something bold, go for it. Your wall, your rules. Next up, let's talk about throw blankets. I know, you've probably already made a few of these. But here's the thing. Most crochet blankets look like crochet blankets. What makes a throw blanket feel like home decor rather than just a craft project is the texture, the yarn choice, and honestly, the size. A chunky throw draped over the corner of a couch or the arm of a chair, that's a whole vibe. That's the kind of thing people walk into your living room and immediately want to touch. The stitch that works really well for this is the waffle stitch. It creates these little square indentations all over the fabric that give it this thick, textured look, kind of like a real waffle. It's a bit more advanced than basic stitches, but it's definitely not hard. You're working with front post and back post double crochets, which sounds scary, but once you do one row, you'll get it quickly. Pair that with a chunky weight yarn and a warm neutral, and you have a throw blanket that genuinely looks like something you'd buy from a fancy home store. Now let's get into something a little different. Crochet plant holders, also called plant hangers or hanging baskets. These have been super popular for a few years now, and they're not slowing down. Succulents, trailing plants, air plants, all of them look amazing hanging in a crocheted basket by a window. And the cool part is that they're actually one of the quickest things you can make. A small plant hanger can take just a couple of hours. The stitch that works best for these is the shell stitch, or a simple mesh pattern, because you want the pot to be visible and the crochet to kind of frame it rather than cover it completely. Macrame-style plant hangers use knots, but when you do it with crochet, you get a softer, more delicate look. Use cotton yarn for these because it holds its shape better, and it's easier to clean if you get dirt on it from repotting plants. Hang them near a window with some trailing pothos or a small cactus, and your space instantly feels more put together. Let's talk about table runners now, because this is something that a lot of crochet creators completely sleep on. A crochet table runner on a dining table or even a console table in a hallway looks absolutely stunning. The key here is to keep the pattern open, like a mesh or a filet crochet pattern, because a solid, dense table runner can look too heavy and kind of hide the table underneath. You want something that adds texture and detail without taking over. Filet crochet is actually perfect. It's a technique where you create solid and open squares in a grid pattern, and you can use it to make shapes and designs like leaves, geometric patterns, or even simple words. It looks complicated from far away, but once you understand the grid, it's actually just double crochets and chains in specific combinations. A cream or white filet crochet runner on a wooden table, that's genuinely something people will ask you about when they come over. Okay, here's something that not many people think about: crochet coasters and bowl covers. I know, coasters sound boring, but hear me out. A set of matching crochet coasters in a pretty stitch, displayed on your coffee table, tied together with a little ribbon, that's a whole aesthetic. And they're one of the best things to make when you have small amounts of leftover yarn from bigger projects. They work up in like 20 to 30 minutes each, and you end up with something functional and decorative at the same time. For coasters, the stitch you want is something tight and flat, so single crochet or a simple granny square works perfectly. You can make a set of 4 in different colors or all in the same color. Add a border in a contrasting color to make them look more polished. Same idea goes for small decorative bowls. Just work in the round and slowly increase your tension as you go up the sides to get that bowl shape. Put some decorative balls of yarn or pine cones in it, and suddenly you have a centerpiece. Here's the moment where everything kind of clicks together. The reason crochet home decor hits differently than buying things from a store is because everything has that handmade quality that you literally cannot replicate with a machine. The slight imperfections, the texture that feels different in every spot, the fact that you chose the colors and the yarn and the stitch, all of that shows. People walk into a home and they feel it, even if they can't explain why. That warmth that some spaces have and others don't, a lot of it comes from handmade things. And here's what I want you to take away from all of this. You don't have to redecorate your entire house at once. Start with one thing. Pick one corner of one room and make something for it. A wall hanging above your bed, a throw on your couch, a plant hanger in your kitchen window. Do one thing, live with it for a week, and I can almost promise you'll want to keep going. That's how it starts for most people. One small project, and then suddenly every surface in your home has something you made on it. Crochet home decor doesn't require you to be an expert, it doesn't require expensive yarn, and it doesn't require a huge amount of time. It just requires you to start. Try one of the projects I talked about today: the wall hanging, the waffle stitch throw, the plant hanger, the filet table runner, or even just a set of coasters, and see how it feels to look at something in your home and know you made it yourself. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video where I'm going to walk you through one of these